I'm back here in the third row of our Tesla Model Y, and no, I'm not back here to talk about how much room there is for adults, because there's not a lot, but that's fine because it works great for our 3 smaller kids that take turns being back here. And we've been on several different road trips, and one we just got back from was 7,168 miles going to Key West, Florida and back to Utah, and the kids had a great time back here and actually preferred it because they had more room, because we just had the one back here and they could, use up the whole space of the 2 seats. During that trip, there were times that we had kids back here and we would let them use a cell phone or maybe a laptop computer for a little bit. And normally what we were just doing is charging the device up at the front and then passing it back here, and they would use it until the battery was depleted or just when they were done, and then pass it back up. There are USB-C ports back here, but they are not in great placement. So as you can see, the USB-C ports are right here in the front of this bench where there are 2 seats, person sitting on either side. And there's not a lot of leg room back here, and so the chances of a cable plugged in right here getting hit and be either bent or just sheared off and leaving this USB port unusable because it's got something stuck in it is quite high. And so I haven't let the kids use these ports yet because I just feel like it's just an accident waiting to happen, and it probably won't take very long before something happens. As a point of reference, this is how much legroom there is back here for the kids, so not a ton. Additionally, for the middle row, there are 2 USB-C ports right here on the back of the center console. And that has the same danger that it just is going to, if it's a straight cable coming out of that, it's just going to get sheared off. Because of this danger, I've been searching for a better solution, and so when Magtame reached out to me and offered for me to evaluate some of their products, I saw these as a perfect solution to this conundrum. So let me show you now what they've sent. Now, they sent me all these products for free to evaluate, but they had not dictated that I must say anything about them, so this is all my own opinion and just my testing out of the product and how well it works for us. They sent me 2 of their magnetic charging and data cables, and you can see here it says magnetic self-winding. So you might wonder, what does that mean? Well, you can see right here, this is the cable and it sticks to itself. The entire length of the cable is magnetized. When you're done with it, it just coils back up on itself and sticks to itself, which is really handy because it keeps it nice and self-contained just like that. So good for kids. No need for using a zip tie or anything to keep it nice and wound up. Additionally, these cables support up to 240 watts, which is a lot. So you could actually run a laptop off of this no problem, as long as the USB-C port supports it, of course. And in the case of the USB-C ports here in the Model Y, I believe they all max out at 15 watts. So this will be more than enough for that. And they have different types of cables. They have Lightning to USB-A, they have A to C, they have C to Lightning, and C to C, which is what we have here. And you can see they have a couple of different lengths as well. So 1 meter, 1.5 meters, and 2 meters. And then black, silver, and blue, and we have the silver here. Additionally, they sent us 3 of their adapters. Now these 2 on the left are the same as each other. And my goal here was that I want the cable to be as flush as possible. So this is a 90-degree angle adapter that you could technically plug in any USB-C cable to, and then it has this break-off portion for that is magnetized. So this makes it so that it's flush at 90 degrees, and if they put too much pressure on it, it'll just pop off. And then this one is a straight adapter, so it's still got the magnet tip, but it's just straight. And these adapters also all support 240 watts. So this is a full 240 watt system from end to end. This is what the straight adapter looks like. So it's just a regular USB-C cable, and the tip is what's different. You can see that pops off, it's magnetized. And then the 90-degree angle adapter just looks like this, and once again that tip pops off just like that. So let's install these and see how they look. So here I have both of these plugged in, and so there's a port here and a port over here, and I have them crisscrossing here in the center so that they don't stick out past this seat here. It has a bump that sticks out right there, and this keeps them nice and compact. So as the kids are using it, if they put too much pressure on this, they pull, it will just pop off, and then it leaves behind that little magnetic piece right there so it doesn't damage the port, and then they can just pop this back on and it reconnects. And I've moved them up here to the back of the center console for the middle row, and you can see they nicely go out that way. And if I look at my USB cable that I have plugged in right now, you can see right there that it's outputting 15 watts. Additionally, what's nice about these is you could actually just leave that small part plugged into the USB-C port of the car, and then when you're done using it, you just pop this off and stow the cable somewhere else, maybe in the center console up there. And then when you want to reconnect it, you could just reach back here and you could just pop this on, and then it reconnects just like that. This USB-C part that stays plugged in is not too hard to pull out. So you can just pull it like that, and you definitely want to put that back on the end of the adapter, otherwise you'll probably lose it. It's a really small part, and that could be useful if you wanted to use this for your cell phone, for instance. You could actually leave this little part plugged in at all times, and you can see it really doesn't add very much to the profile of the phone. Then anytime you want to charge the phone, you just pop this on. Another thing you could do is you could have the 90-degree connector down here, and then you could have the straight connector plugged into your phone, and you could actually just leave that in there, and you could just disconnect it whenever you don't want it to be connected. And then when you do connect it, you just pop that on. The magnetic connection is strong enough, it just pulls it right on. It starts to charge your device, and anytime you're done charging it, you just pop this off, and then it's much faster and safer that you don't damage the port on your phone. Additionally, you could use this cable here in the storage of the center console of the Model Y. You can see there are two USB-C ports here, and this 90-degree angle connector makes it nice that it doesn't stick out into this area where you could have things stored, and instead keeps it flat, and then you can just come up the side here, and once again you just pop it on and off super easily. This USB cable is thicker than a standard cable, so as a point of reference, here's another one that I have, and this other one supports 100 watts, and you can see them right next to each other there, that clearly the silver one is thicker, and it's still very flexible though. I don't think that that's been compromised at all. They've done a good job with it being flexible, but it still is very thick and can handle a lot of power, and it magnetizes together and sticks together, which is awesome. As a point of reference, here on the Model Y, this front body panel is steel. You can see the cable totally is just sticking here to the side of the car, which is awesome. It doesn't do that here on the door panel because this is, I assume, aluminum. I really like how cleanly this cable sticks to itself, so you can see it just stays as a coiled brick. You can toss it in your storage compartments, and then when you are ready to use it, you just lift up on it and it uncoils from itself. You can see it's still trying to stick, but it will completely come apart, and then when you're done with it, it just goes right back into the circle as you drop it, and that's really nice. It keeps it self-contained. I've already been using these cables for a couple of weeks now, testing them out, and I've been pleased with how well they've been working for us. Now, if you wanted to leave the little USB port in the bottom of your phone, that would work great, but you would need to make sure that you have the receiver for it in the other places that you plug in your phone. For instance, I have one on my nightstand, I have one in my office at my desk. So you'd want to have a USB cable receiver for both of those. You'd have to buy multiple adapters, and then potentially this little piece right here that plugs into the bottom of the phone, you would have an extra one of these, or you plug it into your spouse's phone, I guess, and then both of you have the ability to plug in at either place, and you would just always have this in the bottom of your phone, and then your cables are all those magnetic receivers. Now, one thing to note, I did figure out, is that this 90-degree angle connector and this straight connector, the USB pieces on them are not compatible. So you'd want to make sure to get them so that they are compatible. So you can see this one right here is from the straight, and if I try to put it here, it doesn't connect because the inside of it has a little bit of a straight prong, and conversely, this one here will not fit over here. It's a different size. So you'd want to be getting the same connector types in order to be able to use them universally all over the place. I'm going to continue to use these, and especially on future road trips, and I will let you know if I have any future updates about them. If you're interested in getting one of these or anything in the Magtame store, I will put a discount code in the description below that gives you 10% off anything in the store. And with that, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.